Hello, this is Stella teacher, and we're going to talk about wonder this time. So our homework was to analyze each character, and Jack Will, he's going to be a great helper throughout the rest of the novel. So at first, when he met August, he was a little bit thrown off by his awkward appearance. So he feels a little bit awkward initially, but then he slowly turns into a kind-hearted and loyal friend for Augie. And sometimes he gives in to social pressure, and then there's this natural desire of a teenager to fit into the peer group. So there are times when Jack Wool makes mistakes, but then in the end, he stands up for Augie, which is the testament to his character. So he even risks being ridiculed from other kids. So this is a story of a growth not only for Augie, but this is a story of growth for Jagwell as well. He slowly turns into a more compassionate and understanding individual. The second character, he's the antagonist named Julian. So the difficult word for main character is protagonist. So the protagonist of this novel is Augie, and the antagonist of this novel is Julian. So he represents all the possible challenges and possibility of bullying and prejudice and bias thrown to disabled kids and kids who are a little different. And then he is very unkind and he says cruel things to Augie without even hesitating. That probably originates from his lack of understanding, and he's from a very wealthy, well to do family. His family has very high social status. And then I think there are two kinds of people coming from a really good background. The first type of people is more understanding, more empathetic, more compassionate because they were really well educated by their parents. But then there's this really little minority who are really not understanding towards people who are different from them. So we should all try to belong to the former group. But then Julian's character is really necessary because his role is challenging other characters, other kids at school to stand up against the bullying. And then when they're given the choices between kindness and cruelty, the kids are given the choice because of Julian's actions. So the third character is Charlotte. She's very studious and she seeks achievement very much. She's very confident. So she's friendly, but then she's not too warm-hearted. She's really polite. So she sort of represents the neutral ground at the school because she doesn't bully Augie, but then she also doesn't take a strong stand against the bullying. So she sort of belongs to gray ground. And then the fourth character that appeared in the chapters that we're supposed to read is Summer. Summer is compassionate and very kind-hearted, and she's such a brave young lady. When nobody was willing to sit with Augie at the lunch table, she approached Augie, and then she befriended Augie without the fear of being frowned upon and then without the fear of not fitting into the social group. So she represents empathy, and then she's the type of person who can look beyond physical appearances. So she doesn't give in to social pressure, and she teaches other kids how acceptance is important, and then she inspires other kids to be more inclusive rather than excluding and isolating Augie. So Augie, at the end of the chapter that we were supposed to read, he said that he was happy and unhappy at the same time because he had a mixture of experiences at school that day. So he was unhappy and sad because of Julian's cruelty. So he knew that he would have to face that when he goes to school. So he was a little worried and anxious. But then he was also a little bit happy because he saw the signs of kindness and then the possibility of friendship by interacting with Jack, Will, and Charlotte. So he saw some kind of hope. So Augie is a brave young man because he's very determined to attend school despite the initial challenges that he met at school. Okay, that's it for today.